Sounds like a lot of real stories,
Yes.
you know, real life stories,
Yes.
you know, the different scenarios
Yes.
and all. But what are you trying to address? Probably be a guy with a drug issue, a lady with
Yes.
an issue with commercial sex work,
Yes.
somebody going behind the scenes to change documents and
Yes.
change, you know. But what are you trying to address? What message are you trying to put out?
So, I mean, like I said, there are a number of things that I kind of pull in, topical issues of the day, things like human trafficking,
Yes.
the issues of drugs, stuff like that, paternity issues, and some other things like that. So I try to bring all of that in. And then also, I'm also trying to help people understand that even if you supposedly get to the promised land, that's supposedly there are giants there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not what people think it is.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm able to speak about this authoritatively is that I have lived in England for going on 30 years.
So you know what you're talking about.
A lot of the stories, although they are fiction, they're informed by real experiences, very real. My wife always says that life is more real than fiction. There's a way she puts it in the sense that life stories are almost like a movie. And from my little experience, you know, counseling, I'm very, you know, I keep things confidential, but I also, in a sense, bring out real life scenarios that I have seen that will shock you.
I was going to go there.
Yes.
To ask if there were specific people that inspired the characters in the movie.
Yes.
How long did it take to develop the concept?
So I have had this staring, I would say, about producing a movie for maybe about 25 or so odd years. Yeah, but I just didn't have the boldness.
That's no longer a staring. That's a full cook. Like, what were you waiting for 25 years?
Well, I was pursuing my career as vocation as a pastor, and I thought, well, this is it. This is it. Until, you know, the likes of, you know, TD Jakes and others kind of like, you know, hit the ball out of the park, as it were, and showed us that, well, these things are possible. You can still pastor, have an effect.
Yeah.
And so with Woman Thou Art Loose, I saw the effect of that. And I thought, okay, well, God will still use this. And so, but in recent times, I met someone who kind of like helped to, I would say she's the incubator.
Okay.
And she helped to, she helped to kind of like birth it. And I would say it's taken, how many months? 6 or so odd months. And it's not been as laborious as I thought it would be.
Oh.
Yeah. And I guess that's where when it's God, it becomes easy, as it were.
Where were you
Yes.
when you finally, at the end of 25 years,
Yes.
decided, I'm committing to this? Where were you? What was that catalyst? Where were you? What was happening when you finally made that decision? Okay, fine, I'm doing this.
I guess it was just like looking at an interplay of various things. You know, I got to like a nexus. I saw, well, at this point in time, I have a strong message I want to communicate. You're watching Netflix and you're like, hold on a minute, the distribution channel is there. I'm not saying I'm going with Netflix. I'm just saying there's YouTube, there's this, there's that.
Amazon,
and
Netflix,
yes,
different platforms.
Different platforms. And then there's a whole generation I'm seeing that are trying to migrate and they're getting lost somewhere, you know. And then there's the whole burden. You can see people need some kind of direction. And I thought, okay. And then the right factors came along to, in a sense, birth it. You know, I try not to do things in my strength.
Yeah.
And so it was almost like, okay, this is the birthing time.
Yeah.
Yeah. In medicine, we call it the cervix is ripe. You know, the contractions were there, and then it's
I'd like to
push.
act like I understand all these medical things. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's time to push.
Yeah,
you know,
so
everything kind of like just fell
came
into
together.
place, and you know, it's like, okay, this is the time and this is the season.
Let me ask you, I don't know if you answer this, but then I've had the privilege working with some producers and seen movie budgets.
Yes.
And it's one of the most shocking things to people who are not in the industry to hear how much it costs to make a movie.